The sweetest revenge. For 3 long years, my marriage to Mark felt less like a partnership and more like an endless audition for a role I never wanted. The director of that show. My mother-in-law, Eleanor. She was a woman of immense pride, old money, and an even older set of prejudices. To her, I was just a middle-class girl who had successfully tricked her precious son into marriage. When Mark's business began to falter, Eleanor didn't blame his poor decisions or his gambling habits. She blamed me. She claimed my poor luck was dragging their family name into the mud. Under her constant whispering and manipulation, Mark eventually cracked. He filed for divorce, demanding I leave with nothing but my clothes. During the court hearings, Eleanor sat behind him, a smug, victorious grin plastered across her face. She truly believed they had ruined me. But what she didn't know was that while they were busy playing petty games, I was playing chess. The unseen hand. Mark's business hadn't just faltered, it had completely collapsed. In a desperate bid to save it months before our divorce, he had secretly taken out a massive, secondary mortgage on Eleanor's beloved ancestral mansion. He had forged her co-signature, a desperate move by a desperate man. I discovered this financial mess during the discovery phase of our divorce. Instead of exposing it in court and letting the bank seize the house immediately, I made a silent move. I had a successful career of my own, and with the help of a quiet inheritance from my late uncle, I approached the bank directly. I bought out the defaulted mortgage note. Legally, I didn't just own the debt. I owned the rights to the property. But I kept that card firmly hidden up my sleeve, waiting for the final divorce papers to be signed. The confrontation. The day after the divorce was finalized, I returned to the mansion. I didn't go there to beg, and I certainly didn't go there to cry. I went to collect the few personal belongings I had left behind, and to deliver some news. As I walked up the grand stone steps, the heavy oak front door swung open. There stood Eleanor, her posture rigid, her eyes dripping with malice. She stepped forward, physically blocking the threshold, her arms crossed tightly over her designer blouse. "Never step foot in my house again," she hissed, her voice echoing in the quiet neighborhood. "You are no longer welcome here. You are nothing to us now. Get out of my sight before I have the police drag you off my lawn." Mark appeared behind her, looking down at his shoes, too cowardly to even meet my gaze. I stood there on the top step. I didn't flinch. I didn't argue. Instead, a slow, genuine smile spread across my face. It wasn't a smile of anger, it was a smile of absolute, undeniable victory. The reply. I reached into my handbag, pulled out a neat, blue folder, and held it out to her. I smiled, I said, my voice calm and perfectly steady. Then, I replied, "You're right, Eleanor, I am no longer your daughter-in-law. But as for this being your house, you might want to read page 4 of these documents." Eleanor snatched the folder from my hand, her sneer turning into a frown of confusion. Beside her, Mark went pale. He knew exactly what those papers could be. With trembling fingers, she opened the folder. Her eyes scanned the official seal of the bank, the foreclosure notices, and finally, the deed transfer. Her face drained of all color, turning a ghostly shade of white. What is this?" she whispered, her voice cracking. "This is impossible. This is my family home." "It was your family home," I replied, my smile widening just a fraction. "Until your son put it up as collateral and defaulted on the payments. I bought the debt, Eleanor. I paid off the bank in full. The deed is officially in my name." I stepped closer, looking past her into the grand hallway. "So, technically, you are standing in my doorway. And while I won't have the police drag you off my lawn today, my movers will be here tomorrow morning. I suggest you and your son start packing tonight. Have a wonderful evening." Without waiting for her reply, I turned on my heel and walked down the steps. Behind me, the heavy oak door remained open, but for the first time in 3 years, the silence from inside that house was absolutely beautiful.